Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jarvis Escott with What's Happening in Birmingham. Today, I have the honor and pleasure of being with Ms. Joi Brown, who is Marketing Manager of the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute, where we are right now. So, good afternoon, Ms. Brown.
Good afternoon, Jarvis. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for taking time out your day. Usually, it'd be very busy right now, but we're here actually on one of the off days. Just want to come learn more about the Civil Rights Institute, what upcoming events, and for people who do have lived here forever in Birmingham, figure out, what's going on and everything. So kind of take us the history of the Civil Rights Institute for a moment.
So you came at a good time. We were actually established November 15th, 1992. A woman named Odessa Woolfolk, she is our founder, and her along with Mayor Arrington, they got together with a lot of folks in the city that felt that there was a need to have a place that honored, the leaders that led the civil rights movement here in Birmingham. Birmingham is really the cradle of the movement, and they wanted to have a place that was not only a museum to honor and educate about what happened here in the 50s and 60s, but also an institution to help folks learn about the past to move forward to a better future.
Okay. As I walked around the museum, I saw so many different, artifacts and items. How are they donated and collected?
So we have a full archives department. We have an archivist, Wayne Coleman, that works here with us, and we have people that will say, move into a new house and find an artifact in their closet. We've had people find things such as Klan's robes, slave shackles, and a lot of times when that happens, people will call us and use us as kind of the expert as what to do with those items. And from that point on, people can bring them to us. We'll have our archivist look at it, and they can then donate it, and we'll preserve it. If we are able to, we then put it up in our galleries. Sometimes we don't showcase everything in our galleries, but we keep the stuff in our archives for college students or any kind of researcher that wants to come and use it for research.
Okay. So I noticed when I came in, it's kind of like a timeline as you walk around the museum. Can you explain that for a moment?
Yes, so the museum is it's a circle, and it does function as a timeline. So you start at the Barriers Gallery, which starts in the early 50s, and we start there talking about early segregation and things that were done to keep blacks and whites separate. We talk about Brown versus the Board of Education, how schools were different for black and white children. We talk about how restaurants, buses, everything was segregated. And from that point on, you'll notice through our galleries, you'll start going uphill as you get to the Montgomery bus boycott and the sit-ins, and then eventually the voting rights movement. And it sort of peaks at the March on Washington, and at that point, you're able to watch Dr. King's speech in Washington, D.C. And then you see our first black mayor, Mayor Arrington. You can tour his office, and then we finish here in the Human Rights Gallery, which brings us to present day issues that we talk about.
Okay, so today the Civil Rights Institute is kind of, like you said, it's kind of pivot now. Civil rights now, human rights. One of the things you were speaking about before we started the interview is about different programs you all have offered throughout the year.
We do a variety of programs. A lot of people don't know that everything we do isn't physically here in the museum. We go out to schools, we do early literacy programs. One of our flagship programs is Heritage Alive, where we go out into Birmingham City schools and we read books to pre-K and kindergarten children. And we usually read a book and then do an activity with them, and we leave a book with that classroom so the classrooms can build a library. We also do that same program bringing people into the Institute. It's called Community of Readers, and so people can come in, bring their kids. We usually have snacks, and they get to read a fun book, do an activity, and then each family gets to take a book home so they can also build their library. So we do fun stuff like that. We do panel discussions about current issues. We are nonpartisan, but we do focus heavily on voting rights. So we educate people about the history of voting in the United States and your rights to vote right now.
Okay. And you mentioned about upcoming birthday.
Yes, so we actually turn 26 next week, November 15th, Thursday, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have free admission all day. It's going to be a 90s themed birthday bash. So we're asking everyone to pull out their favorite 90s outfits, because there will be a contest with a prize. We'll have birthday cake, performances, a DJ. We just really want to celebrate our birthday. We feel like it's important, and to kind of honor those like Ms. Odessa Woolfolk that started the Institute.
Okay. One of the things I was very blown away with as soon as I entered in the museum is just the artwork.
Yeah.
And I tell anybody, please just stop by, just, like pictures of Dr. King and Dr. Correll Scott King over there, and also this behind us right now and everything. So what days normally is the museum open?
So we are open from Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then Sundays, 1 to 5 p.m. Sundays are always a great day for families to come. We are open by donation only on Sundays, so feel free to bring your whole family, and people can just offer a small donation if they'd like to on Sundays.
So during the week it's pretty much free then?
On Sundays.
Free on Sundays.
Sundays.
On Sundays.
Just on Sundays.
Free on Sundays.
Sundays.
One of the things, I guess, we're going to do a little quick tour, had the actual jail cell of Dr. King.
Yes.
Can you tell people a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So when Dr. King was locked up here in Birmingham, where he wrote the infamous letter from a Birmingham jail, we have the actual jail cell and actually the stool that was in the cell that he was detained in here in Birmingham. So we always tell people, when you're in a museum, you feel like, oh, I can't touch anything. But we always tell people, touch those bars. It's important to touch those bars because that is the actual jail door that was on Dr. King's cell. Okay.
So in this day and time, what do you want visitors to take with them after they've visited the museum now?
In this day and time, I think we take for granted. I think our generation may be one of the last generations to get those stories that we used to get from grandmama, to get those stories where we'd sit and cook with her and hear how things were in the past. So our mission here at BCRI is to educate people about the past, but by doing that and talking about these difficult histories, make for a better future. If we don't know our history, we're bound to repeat it, as we can see, that's happening today. So mainly just to learn and use that knowledge as empowerment.
Okay. So for more information,
you can check us out online at bcri.org. We are on social media, Instagram and Twitter at Birmingham Civil Rights, and on Facebook, just Birmingham Civil Rights Institute.
Okay, so we're actually part 2 of this interview is actually going to be a tour around the museum, so stay tuned for that. Ms. Brown, thank you.
Thank you
for your time.
very much. Thank you.
And please check out this interview and more interviews today on whatshappenedbirmingham.com. Thank you all again and have a great afternoon. And go vote tomorrow. Bye-bye.